All right, let's dive into something really fascinating today. We're taking on quantum resonance, Tai Chi, and alkaline health all together. We're going to unpack how these seemingly different things might actually be connected in ways you wouldn't believe. You probably noticed how everything seems to be quantum these days, right?
It's a buzzword for sure.
But what we're exploring today is how to actually apply these principles to our lives for, a better and healthier success, not just theoretical physics.
Yeah, what's really interesting is how these sources suggest our bodies might actually function a lot like quantum entanglement.
Okay, you're going to have to break that down for me.
So imagine two particles that are linked but like really far apart. Anything that happens to one instantly affects the other. It's like our cells are having this secret conversation across our entire body.
Whoa, that's wild.
Right.
And there's this book, Resonance Reborn, a 21-day journey into the quantum realm of optimal wellness, energy, and vitality. That even talks about our brain's electrical impulses being entangled with processes far beyond just our nervous system. It's mind-blowing.
Exactly. I mean, imagine the possibilities if we can tap into that interconnectedness. We could totally revolutionize how we approach health, like moving beyond treating symptoms and actually addressing the root causes within our entire system.
Now, speaking of interconnectedness, the sources really emphasize pH balance for tuning our quantum resonance. They even compare it to tuning an instrument.
Yeah, they do talk about that.
What's the connection there?
Well, think of it this way. An alkaline state is like having these crystal clear signals in your body, allowing for smooth communication between your cells. Acidity, on the other hand, is like static in the system, disrupting those signals and potentially throwing things off balance.
So it's all about creating an environment where everything flows smoothly.
Exactly. And this ties back to the idea of entanglement. Maintaining that alkaline state might be super important for clear communication between all those entangled systems within us, ensuring everything is vibrating in sync.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. So how does Tai Chi fit into all of this? The sources seem to suggest it's way more than just exercise.
Right. They talk about it as a way to actually harmonize with the universe's energy using this really cool concept of quantum flow. They describe Tai Chi movements as being designed to actually resonate with the Earth's magnetic field, almost like we're like dancing with the planet's energy.
I love that. And they highlight the Wubu, or five directions phases of Tai Chi, Qian, Kun, Li, Kan, Zen. Each one represents a different aspect of energy flow, right?
Yeah.
Like both within us and in the universe.
Absolutely. Each direction corresponds to a different quality of energy. For example, Keen is all about upward expansion and creativity, while Kun represents downward contraction and receptivity. The source suggests that by practicing Tai Chi, we're not just moving our bodies, but aligning ourselves with these universal energies.
Wow, it sounds incredibly powerful. But the sources also mention some pretty tangible health benefits of Tai Chi, especially when it comes to boosting our immune system.
Yeah, they talk about how it reduces stress, which is huge because chronic stress can really weaken your immune system over time. They also discuss how it improves lymphatic function, which helps remove toxins from the body.
So Tai Chi is like a full body detox and energy boost all at the same time.
In a way, yeah. They even link it to increased antioxidant capacity, which means your body is better at handling those harmful free radicals that can damage cells.
Wow, so Tai Chi isn't just about moving gracefully, it's about aligning your energy for better health on every level. I'm loving how this deep dive is showing us these practical connections. Now let's get into fueling our quantum selves, because the sources get surprisingly down to earth when it comes to the alkaline diet. I was expecting something really restrictive, but it's actually quite approachable.
It is. The main idea is to focus on whole foods, especially fruits, veggies, and healthy fats, and to cut back on processed foods, sugar, and too much animal protein.
You know what I loved? One of the sources compared an alkaline body to a flowing river and an acidic body to a stagnant swamp. Talk about a visual.
Yeah, that's a good one. And they connect that swamp analogy to inflammation and mucus buildup, which can block energy flow in the body.
Right, like we're literally clogged up, and creating that alkaline environment helps things flow again. For our listeners who are wondering how to actually put this into practice, I found some surprisingly helpful and specific tips.
Oh, cool. Like what?
Well, they suggested soaking and boiling chickpeas or lentils instead of using canned ones. Also, swapping sugary drinks for water with lemon or herbs sounded easy enough. Oh, and they even suggested having a healing day where you eat meals that focus on mineral replenishment.
I like that. What's important is that these sources emphasize making conscious food choices and really understanding how they affect our well-being on a deeper level.
It's like they're saying you are what you eat, but like on a whole new quantum level.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, these sources talk a lot about grounding, literally connecting with the Earth's energy. They even call it quantum grounding.
Yes. It's interesting because we've all heard about earthing or walking barefoot, but these sources go further. They say it's a way to actually tap into the Earth's energy field on a quantum level, almost like recharging our batteries, but with the Earth.
And it can be as simple as just standing barefoot on some grass or dirt for a few minutes.
Totally. And if you can't get outside, they even mention using earthing mats.
It's amazing how this all connects back to resonance. Since we're always surrounded by artificial electromagnetic frequencies from our devices, Wi-Fi and all that, grounding could be a way to kind of recalibrate and harmonize with the Earth's natural frequencies.
Exactly. It's like hitting the reset button on our energy.
Totally. So we've covered a lot. Quantum resonance, Tai Chi, the alkaline diet, grounding. But how can we actually apply all of this to our already busy lives?
It can feel a bit overwhelming, right? Like, where do we even begin with all this? We've got our inboxes exploding, our schedules packed.
Yeah, I hear ya.
But the good news is, these sources offer some surprisingly simple but powerful ways to actually start incorporating these principles, little by little.
Absolutely. They emphasize that it's not about changing your whole life overnight. It's more about those small, consistent steps, weaving these practices into our everyday routines.
Okay, so besides grounding and being mindful of what we eat, what else can our listeners try? What I really loved was the idea of embodied wisdom, not just like understanding these concepts intellectually, but actually feeling them. Yeah, totally. It's about bridging that gap between like our heads and our hearts. And the sources suggest that one powerful way to do this is through mindful eating.
Right. Then talk about slowing down, really tasting each bite, and appreciating the energy of the food like it's this amazing gift.
Exactly. Transforming meal times from like a chore to a mindful practice. It's about honoring our bodies and understanding that what we choose to nourish ourselves with, well, it directly impacts our energy and well-being.
It's like that saying, you are what you eat, but on a whole new quantum level.
Exactly. They also talk about incorporating some simple breathing exercises throughout the day, just taking a few conscious breaths. It can really help shift our energy, calm our minds, bring us back to center.
It's amazing how something so simple can be so powerful. And the best part is, anyone can do it, no matter how busy life gets.
I know, right? And as we start to incorporate these practices, we might even find ourselves tuning in to those subtle energy shifts within us and around us, almost like our senses are becoming more refined, more vibrant.
It's like we're waking up to this magic of the quantum realm that's always been there, just below the surface. And speaking of magic, one of the most mind-blowing takeaways from all of this is the concept of quantum kinesis. The idea that our intentions, thoughts, beliefs, desires, that they might actually have the power to influence reality on a quantum level.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like magic, right? But when you think about it, it's actually rooted in these mind-blowing principles of quantum physics. The idea is that our consciousness isn't separate from the quantum field. It's an integral part of it. We're constantly interacting and shaping it with every thought, every feeling, every belief.
So we're not just receiving energy from the universe, we're actively co-creating with it.
Exactly. And that opens up so many possibilities. If we can influence our reality on such a fundamental level, imagine what we can do if we consciously focus on positivity, love, gratitude, healing, not just for ourselves, but for everyone and everything around us.
It's such an empowering and hopeful thought. And honestly, I think that's what this whole deep dive into quantum wellness is really all about. It's about realizing our own ability to heal, to grow, and to create a more beautiful and harmonious world.
So well said. And as we wrap things up here, I can't help but feel like this exploration of quantum wellness is just the beginning. There's so much more to uncover.
It's a journey of infinite possibilities for sure. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and a huge thank you to all our amazing listeners. We'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.